Hey there, welcome to another session of Global Hack Week. We're here for the part two. Um, yep. So during this session, we will be basically doing like more code and more project rather than having like an explanation. I'm still going to explain to you like where to get the API keys and also like how to navigate like on the dashboard as well in case that you want to view them in there. But before we start, um, I just want to say that it's basically like the last day of Global Hack Week, and there's still like more streams like coming on. So I hope you got to enjoy like like this whole week, and we will be basically I will be back on the next Global Hack Week with more interesting streams. So I'm going to what segments? Yeah. So don't forget to check in. There's a link on the chat over there for you to check in for this Global Hack Week, and after that, I'm just going to go over like a super brief review and also like introduce myself for like any new people like out there. Hi there. Hola. I like your Spanish message. Yay. Yeah, so my name's Jocelyn. I'm a coach here at Major League Hacking. I'm also a previous fellow myself, and now I'm a pod leader. And I collect Minecraft bees, which are super cool. I also like mechanical keyboards, robotics, and neurotech, and I'm also a GitHub Campus expert in case that you want to like know a little bit about the program and so on. Oh, I don't know Spanish. I just have a habit of saying hola. That's nice. Um, you should learn more. I know it's a bit challenging, but like you should learn more. Yeah, so just to go over on the Vapi section. So yeah, we're going to be using this tool that's called Vapi. This is just basically for like building like AI agents for developers and specifically talking about like doing calls. So like when you do a call like from your cell phone, you're able to use that assistant on Vapi or like on your dashboard or your application. I would love to. I like how Spanish sounds. Yeah, it will be interesting to like do some part of the stream in Spanish, but no, I don't think that's even allowed. I mean, I would love to because like sometimes it can be challenging like to give or like especially like give technical topics on like your second language. I would say it's weird. And what I think is even weirder, it's that now like I'm more used to giving workshops and like all of the global hack weeks and even like workshops like not related to mlh like in english rather than doing them like in spanish. So like last week I was at hack for her and I had to give like a workshop, and hack for her was here in my city, so in mexico. So I basically have to give the workshops that I always give in english like on spanish, and it felt so weird because like I've never done one of like MLH's workshops in Spanish. So I was just trying to see like all of the content and how can I rephrase it to be like in Spanish. So it was, I wouldn't say it was challenging. I just felt a little bit weird on that side. Great. So let's move on to our Vapi dashboard. And before I do that, I'm going to share the link to the tool on the chat in case you want to see the docs. So on the past stream, we basically saw like how to obtain our API key. We also created like a sample like AI assistant. We also called our assistant, and we also reviewed the logs, but like we didn't really do any code, so we were just like navigating through the dashboard like itself. So like at least on this stream, I would love if we could make like a project out of like the Vapi console, because like Vapi, it's like the tool, and I know it's very like straightforward. Like it's a lot of like plug and play. So you just enter the dashboard and you start like moving stuff. But like we need to do something with the data that we are getting from our agents in order to do like analysis, or like to schedule meetings, or like understand our customers and so on. So today we will basically be doing two things potentially. So the first one is that we're going to use Vapi's API to like fetch all of our logs and specific details like from the calls. We're first going to start with a general endpoint. So with the endpoint of get all calls, and then we'll go from there. Try to make our dashboard look nice. And then after that, I'm going to go over to using the Vapi Python SDK. So I've never used that one before, so I'll be learning by your side, trying to figure out like how it works, and we'll see if like we need some help or something to make it work. So the Python SDK, we're going to be using it so we can make calls directly from our dashboard. So I think probably that's not supported on Streamlit. Honestly, I have no idea. We'll have to figure that out. And in case like it's not supported, then I'll just do an example with Node.js or something. Like we'll see what comes out of this, and we'll try to like improvise depending on like the errors that we're getting, or if like everything's working like smoothly, then like we will stick with Python as well. Great. So I'll remove these slides from here. Additionally to that content, I'm going to share with you a GitHub link. So let me just move these, because now I actually have two screens. So you don't know how difficult it is to sometimes like give streams like without like having two screens, because like you need to be seeing like like the actual content, and then like navigating through like different things. So yeah, I would say it's like a skill. So let me share my screen so you can see a little bit more about the Vapi console, and also the GitHub repository that I prepared for you. So over here, I'm going to go onto GitHub, and I'll start looking for the repository that I created recently. So it's called a Vapi dashboard over here. I'm going to share the link with you as well. So over here, you'll also find like the slides for our presentation, which were given like on the part number one of the stream. You'll also find the docs and some of the key concepts that we were viewing, and like a nice description. And over here, I will be posting like all of the code that we are going to be doing today from our dashboard as well. Great. So I shared this link with you for the documentation, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So we have our docs here, then we have our API reference. We also have NCP. This will be interesting because I think that after my stream, we have another stream related to like MCP servers. So it might be worth seeing. Yeah, so there's like MCP, and there's also like SDKs. So SDKs, there's plenty. There's React and also Python, which I think are the most common ones. And well, the web SDK is also like in there in case that someone wants to use it. So my first test would be to do like Python, and if Python is not working correctly on the Streamlit, then I'll move on to web SDK and hope that I have all of the necessary things to run like web on this computer. If not, we'll see what's best for the sake of the stream. So another interesting thing in here is that we have the API reference. So Vapi has its own API that we can basically connect to fetch like all of the logs from our calls. So honestly, I would say the most important one is like the list calls, because then like create call, that's weird, right? And I think this endpoint expects an object. Yeah, so this is like basically to create like a new call. We won't be doing that. So yeah, this is like I would say the most important one is like the get one. So list like all of the calls that you have on your Vapi dashboard. And then we also have the one for chats, sessions, assistants, phone numbers, files. There's quite a few in there. Create analytics queries. I think that one's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think this one was retracted. Get logs. Because I think this one was the same as like get calls, but now like this one is like over here for list calls. So yeah. Awesome. So let's start with our first by obtaining like the API key, cloning the GitHub repository, and also like setting up basically like our environment. So let me enter here onto the dashboard. And if you haven't created an account before, please go ahead and do that as fast as possible, because we did this on the last stream. And something that is very lame, and it was one of the principal reasons on why I like Vapi so much, was that it was kind of like free before. So like before, instead of having like credits, you had like an amount of minutes that you could use like per month. And once that month passed, then the a minute limit was like reset. So now you basically have to like purchase credits for every call that you want to make. And it's very bad because like they just gave me like 10 free credits and I just used one like doing a call. Let's see how expensive this is. So you're adding 10. So for every like $10, I have like 19.85 calls, which in my personal opinion, that's like expensive. That's like crazy expensive. Um, yeah, this is like basically the pay as you go, and then you can also have um like difference. But I'm glad for them. They're trying to make more money out of people using the tool. I think probably like their strategy was to make it free, so like a lot of people will become like dependent from the tool, and then like increasing the price like crazy. So like all of those companies had to like purchase the tool because they were already like depending on it. So that's something to keep in mind. Honestly, yeah, call concurrency limit. There's also like a voice library. Oh, this is also new. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So you have like different voices in here. Now it looks like 11 labs. And there's also like the customized ones that the community is basically doing. Hey, so what's this stream? So this stream is about using Vapi, which is a voice generation AI tool. And we're going to make our own calling AI assistant, and we're going to be displaying the call logs on a dashboard. So hopefully we can get to that as well. So for assistants, we're going to go and head over into assistants, and you can go ahead and create a new assistant and basically like customize it like in any form. You can add the content that you want. You can also change like the provider. Like instead of having like OpenAI, you can choose like another one. You can also change like the voice configuration to have like different voice, different transcriber as well. Instead of having like deepgram, you can choose like another one in there. What else? You can also like change these analysis requirements. So we are requiring the AI to take notes on a summary. Also, on doing like a success evaluation from like um, we can do it from 1 to 10 to have like a numeric scale. And then structured data, you're an expert data structure. You will be given a transcript called structured data per JSON schema. Do not return anything except the structured data. Sounds good. So let's publish this. And you can basically customize like your AI agent as you want. Just keep in mind that, as much, depending on the tools that you choose and the models that you select, it's how expensive it will be. So right now it's basically making like an estimate that it will cost me like 0.09 cents per minute. And the latency, I would say it's fair enough. It's fair enough. What else? We also added a phone number directly to this AI assistant. So if you go here to phone numbers, you can basically create a free phone number. You can also, what's safe identifier? I don't know what's that. But yeah, you can create like your own phone number. Just add like the area code that you want, and then like start creating it. And once you create it, make sure to rename it to something that you like, and then just select the assistant that you want to use, like over here. So in my case, like I want to use Ryan, so I'll just go ahead and like select Ryan for this phone number. So yep, that's basically it. That's kind of like a summary of what we saw like on the last session, at least like on the Vapi part. And then if we head over in here, where are the logs? Call logs. If we go to call logs, we will be able to see like the call that I made like during the stream. And here we can basically see like a summary of everything. You can also like click on it and see like a more detailed review of like what is everything, and also like a recording of the video, and you can see the logs, analysis. You can even see like the messages in JSON format and so on. In here, this call basically cost me like 0.15 cents, which I think I mean, it's good, but it's like also a little bit expensive. Honestly, I miss like the earlier Vapi, like when you didn't have this credit thing limit. So for now, you should be able to test everything, as when you create your account, you have like 10 free credits. Just keep in mind that once you use them, you might have to pay. So that's not so good, but at least you can have an idea of how these tools work. And honestly, when I was looking for tools related to like voice generation, Bobby was the best one, at least related to costs. Because then like DeepGram, 11 Labs, Hume AI, all of those are like very expensive, and they require you to have like credits that are even more expensive than the Vapi ones. But now that Vapi also set up like kind of like that limit, like for paying, I don't know. I'm not very sure if I will continue using this tool. I'll probably find something else, or just like leave it there. Like, I don't know. But yeah, for now, let's focus on actually building the project with this tool. So I'll go ahead and clone the GitHub repo, which I also share with you on the chat. So I'm basically going to copy paste this, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a new VS Code tab. Just give me a moment. So VS Code, file, new window. Okay, there we go. Oh, my window disappeared. There we go. So you should be able to see the VS Code tab in there with the code. So I'll start cloning the GitHub repository. I'll just make this bigger. So I'll do clone Git repository, and then I'll just paste like the link from my Vapi dashboard. I'm going to click on clone from URL, and I'll just select like a folder. So I'm basically going to call this Vapi Global Hack Week GenAI. I'll select that as a repository destination, and then I'll just start I'll open it there. Awesome. Let me just fix my windows over here. So for this part, we're going to need two keys potentially. So we will need basically like the key that we're going to use for the API, and then we're going to need like another key, but this time that other key will be used for the Python SDK. So over here, what we're going to do first is that we're going to get our we're going to set up like our Streamlit application first, and then we'll go ahead and do like our first API request to the Vapi console. So before you actually like test the code, try to do like at least the one call to the AI agent. It doesn't have to be through like a phone call. You can also do them like on the dashboard as well. So let's create a new file called like app.py. And then from our file, we will be basically importing Streamlit. If this is the first time that you're using a tool as a Streamlit, then make sure that you install a Streamlit. So to install in Streamlit, all you have to do is like do a pip install. So you're going to go ahead and do pip install and then Streamlit. And then it will start downloading. In the meantime, I'll start importing Streamlit. So import Streamlit as st, and then I'll add like a header. So I'm going to do st title Vapi logs, Vapi call logs. And then we'll add a divider to like divide the page, and we're going to write the text. So write, and then you will find all of the information from each call here. Great. So let's try running this script to see how our dashboard looks like, and then we'll start with the Vapi part. So to run your application, all you have to do is Streamlit, and then run, and then the name of the file. So the name of the file in this case is app. So I'm just going to do a Streamlit, run, and then app.py. So this will open up like a new one. Streamlit is not being recognized. So in case you're having like the same error as I'm doing like right now, if you're like on Windows, all you have to do is run it as a model. So Python /m, and then you're going to do the command. So Streamlit run app.py. And then it should start opening a new browser tab. There we go. So it actually opened it up on the other screen. So I'll just like move it on here. There we go. So this should basically look like this. We have like our title, and then we have like our subtitle in here. You will find all of the information from each call here. Awesome. So the next thing that we need to do is basically start doing like our first request before actually putting like things on the dashboard, because we want to know like the different fields that are on our calls. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and start creating a new function. So this function will be basically will be basically to do like our API request. So I'm just going to call it like def, and then call logs. And then for the call logs, I'm not going to do like any sort of like input parameter, because I'm just going to get the calls. So to do that, I have to set up like my headers. So I have to set up like the authorization token, which will be my API key. And then I need to save the response, and then actually do like the get request. So to do this, we're going to be using the requests library from Python, and also the JSON one, because we want to like print our results as JSON. So we're going to import requests, and then we're also going to import JSON. So again, the first thing that we're going to do is create like our headers. So it will be headers equal to, and then keys. And then we're going to have the first one, which will be my authorization one. So it will be authorization. And this will basically be equal to my bearer token. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to format this, and I'm going to add like my token in there. So I need to do bearer, and then I'm going to add my API key in here. So I'm going to create a variable where I will store my API key. So API key equals to, and then I'll just paste it in there once we have it. So I'm going to add API key here. Great. So another thing that we need to add, it's like the content type. So that just goes as content. And then you need to do the type within, I think it's, I don't know if it's like this content type. And then we're going to specify that it will be like application JSON, which is, it's honestly, it's like the standard. So application JSON. Great. So we have our headers now. And wait. Yeah. We have our headers now. And the next thing that we will do is now do our get request. So to do that, we need to store like the response somewhere. So we're going to do a variable called response. And then we'll actually use the requests library to do our get method. So to do that, let's call requests, and then let's call the get method. And then inside the get method, we need to add two things. So we need to add like the endpoint that we will be using, which is our API URL. And then we are going to be needing to pass the authorization thing. So that's like the headers. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new variable in here, which will be called API endpoint. And then I'll just paste it like in there. And then I'm going to call it in here. So API endpoint, and then I'm going to pass on the headers. There we go. Headers. And why do I have an error here? Is that it? Bearer API key. I actually closed it. Well, we'll see later. Yep, so we have now our response variable, which will basically like fetch the response from the URL. And then just to be sure that we're getting like the correct response code, we're just going to make sure that the status code is equal to 200. So again, we're going to check our response dot and then status code. If that is equal to 200, then that basically means that my endpoint was like successful. And in case it was successful, I'm going to return the response as a JSON. So we're just going to do response and then .json with the library that we imported before. And then in case we have an error, what we're going to do is that we're going to return a Streamlit error. So st error, and then inside here, we can basically like print the status code. So we can do response dot status code. And we can also add like an extra message that says like the app encountered an error, and then we'll just do a concatenation here. So I'll do this in the space and then close this and then add like the plus in here. Oh, now I'm seeing why this is not working. There we go. So now I'm printing in there the status code, and I'm just going to return like empty. So if there's like nothing, then I'll just return an empty JSON in here. And I'm missing the two dots. Oh, okay, that's weird. So I already have that complete, but I'm getting an error for the API key. I don't know if these needs to be like double quotes. Honestly, I don't think so, but like, let's see. Authorization, content type. That's weird because like I'm literally closing it here. I have no idea. I'll just wait to see like the what happens next. But for now, we already have like our function that we're going to be using to fetch like all of the calls. Honestly, I would say this is kind of like the most important part because we will be doing like our first API request in here from the Vapi dashboard. So after that, what's next is that we need to get these two variables in here. So we need to get the API key and also the API endpoint, and we need to store them in like a secure location. So I'm going to go back to the Vapi dashboard. Let's see over here, it's here. So from the Vapi dashboard, we're going to go over and click in here on Vapi API keys. And then we're going to go ahead and copy paste the private key. So let's just view this, and then I'll copy paste this. And I'm going to paste it again on my over here. So I'm just going to paste like my credentials here, and then like I'll just add them on a git ignore over there. So now for the URL, let's go back to our endpoint here and copy paste this endpoint that we have in here. I'll copy paste it from here. So I'll copy paste that endpoint as well. And then I'll paste it in here on the endpoint section. So now we kind of like already have like all that we need. So we have like our function, and we also have like our variables here. So let's see if we can like run these on the terminal. So in here, to see it printed, I'm just going to do like print and then response .json to get like the result. And if there was an error, then I'm going to print like error. So I honestly have no idea why I'm getting like these thing over here. I don't know, like fix with C-line, fix using Copilot. Okay, let's try that. You should use a dictionary instead of a list for the headers, like in the request.get call. Why does it mean by that? Oh, it was supposed to be like yeah, like the other keys, like in here, and I used like the other ones. Great, so we're good to go. Now let's just call our function in here. That's called call logs in here, so we can like run these as Python like natively. So let me run this and see if we can print the code that I basically did a few hours ago. Great, so I was able to bring like all of the information in here. So we have a huge JSON in here that basically has like all of the information. So for example, we have assistant ID, type, inbound call. What else? We also have like the ended reason, status, when the call was created, the summary over there. We literally have like all of the log details printed out for us on the console. So now it's time to like visualize those like somewhere, so like we can view them in a more like organized manner instead of like having to enter the dashboard like the whole time. And we also want to do it in a more structured form. So to do that, then we'll start creating like our actual dashboard. So now that we have our response like on the Streamlit, all we have to do is like call that method and then like start extracting information from our JSON file. So the first thing that we're going to do on our Streamlit dashboard is that we're going to store all of this info on a variable that we're going to call data. So data will be equal to call logs. So now we have like everything that we need in there. And if we can't find data, then we're just going to print like an error message. So if not data. Then we're just going to do SD error. There is no call history. Try making a call first. There we go. And in case that we actually like have info, we're going to do else. And then in here, in this endpoint, that is basically like for listing like all the calls. So right now I only have one call, but what will happen if I have like more calls? Then my JSON will be like longer and longer. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to do a for loop to start like doing an iteration for each call that I have on my data, on my JSON data. So to do that, I'm going to call it call, and then for call in data, what I want to do is that I basically want to extract like different things. So as I'm seeing here on the terminal, I'm seeing that there's like a lot of information. So instead of just like displaying it like a lot like on our dashboard, we're going to do like a thing called expander. So so we're going to do with SDX, I think it's called expander. So expander is basically the things that when you click on them, like it displays like all the data that we have. That's just basically what it is. And then what we're going to add on the expander is that we're going to add like different things such as like the call ID. So to do that, we need to fetch like the ID from our JSON thing, and then we also might want to like extract, I don't know, like if there was an error or what is the status of that call. So let me try to look for the field in here. So if there's something, yeah. So for example, we have status in here, and then we also have like an ID, I think. Oh, there's like 39 IDs. I think it was like on the top of it. There we go. So we have an ID here. So to do that, again, I'm going to use like a format message. So I'm going to do F, and then I'll just do the thing where I will place like call ID, and then I'll just add like the variable. Or you know what? I can also do it. I can also do it directly. So I can do like call ID, and then I'll just do like a plus, and then I'm going to do data, and then I'm just going to do, well, no, I'm sorry, we will be getting the calls, so it will be call dot, I think it will be, no, as it is a JSON, we need to do like we need to get like the field. So let's see if we can do get, and then the ID in here. And why are we getting an error here? Expected. Oh, yeah. So I need to do this. And then, I don't know, like inside the expander, I'm just going to add like a subheader that will be called like basic call information. So let's try to see if this like works. And then I'll start adding like more information just to make sure that we are doing like, we're using like the correct credentials and calling like everything correctly. So to run our application, and I'm going to create a new terminal for this, we're just going to do a streamlit run and then app.py. I'm sorry, I think it was already running. Yeah, it was already running. So I'll just like refresh the dashboard in here. Here we go. So I'll just refresh these now. Awesome. So we're seeing our call ID in here, and then we have like our subheader that says like basic call information. So I think that everything's working correctly. We just need to start adding like more and more fields in there. So let's go ahead and start adding like more fields, and we can also like add emojis in here so it looks like better. So I'll add like a calling emoji. And then I'll also add like the status code over here. So let's do a status. And then I'll just do call.get. And I don't know if it's called like status or status code. So we'll just try with status, and then let's see what happens. So status, and I'll also add another emoji in here that it's I don't know what to place. Probably like a star. I don't know, or like a graph. A graph might be better, but great. There we go. So let's see. After the subheader, we can start extracting like more information. So let's extract like the basic information using like a JSON. So let's do like SD JSON, and then inside our JSON, we're going to type in like our structure. So our structure will be basically some of the things that we can obtain from the from here. So we have type, we have started at, we also have ended at. Then there's a transcript, but I think the transcript will be like super long. So I'll just find the cost. Yeah, I'll just find like the cost which is in here. Great. So to do that, let's start typing our fields. So first, we had the type. So this is type. And then for type, we're going to add, we're going to do the same technique. So we're going to do call, get, and then we're going to type in here type. And that should get it. Then we're going to do the same for the next field. So the next field is started at. So I'll just do started at, and then call dot get, and then this is called started at. We can also do the ended at one, so it will be ended at, and then call dot get ended at. And finally, we will add the cost, because the transcript is like so long. So we have the cost in somewhere in here. Well, but I'm pretty sure there's like a cost field, so I'm just going to do cost, and then call dot get, and then cost. So that's it. So this should basically display like all of these fields in JSON format. So let's go ahead and try to like actually display this on our dashboard. So let's go back and let's refresh these. I don't like how this is looking like. Probably I'll change it. I'll delete this one, I think. Yeah, so now we have our basic information in here. So we have the type, we have when it started, when it ended, and also like the cost of my call. So the next thing, I think it will be interesting if we can also print like the recording of the audios, and also like the summary and the score and all of that. So let's go back and do that. So what else? So let's add another subheader. So subheader, and we will call these like URLs. And then for our URLs, we're just going to like, I think this one will be like a little bit trickier, because in here, let's see, recording URL. Oh, there we go. So we have recording URL here, but I think this is inside like another one. Let's see, we have recording. Okay, we can try like directly with the recording URL. So let's just try like printing that as text. So sd.write, and then we're going to add like an emoji for the probably like recording. Oh, this is nice. Recording, and then we'll call this recording your recording link. And then we'll just like call the calls in here. So call dot get, and then this is called recording URL. Awesome. And then we'll add another subheader, but this one will be like for the insights. So I'll just call it like insights. And then in here we can do kind of like a bullet list, so like it looks different. So we can do like a bullet list of like the summary and the score and all of that stuff. So I can add st.list. There's no list on order list. No. Let's try to see what other things we have in here. So we have camera input, caption, chat input, chat message, checkbox. Mm, download button, form, fragment, header, image. There's markdown as well. That's nice. Page link. That's interesting. But I'm not seeing anything that says like a list. But I think if I do this, like it should work. Or probably if I use like the markdown one, and then I'll just add like the bullet points as if I was doing like GitHub documentation. So let's try that. Let's try adding like bullet points and adding like summary. And then like just adding my summary here, which will be call dot get, and then I think it's called summary. So let's try seeing what happens with these two once we add them, and I'll delete the status one in here. So it will just be like status. So let's refresh our page to see what we're getting in here. Oh, can only concatenate string, not non-type to string. Oh, it's probably this. Not non, can only concatenate string, not non-type. Probably because it's not getting like anything. So let's see what that is about. So let me delete this to see if it's like how I'm accessing the JSON, or if it has something to do with this calling inside here. So let's try it again. Let's refresh that in there. Oh, so it's not finding like the URL in there. Okay, but the bullet points, it's kind of like working. So I'll just like delete the summary thing in here to make it look better. So I'll just delete this. And I think it's doing like the bullet points by itself. So there we go. And then for the recording URL, I don't know why it's empty. Probably I'm not calling it correctly. So let's see. We have, we have user in here. But that's weird because the recording URL, it's inside something. Not very sure. Because like it's getting the summary correctly, but it's not getting. Oh, now I'm seeing where my error is. URL, it's like on caps, and it's not supposed to be like in caps. So URL. Hello there. Hi. Glad you are there. URL. Great. So now let's try to add the text in here. So like recording link. And I'll also add the concatenation thing in here. And then I'll just add like an emoji for the recording part. There we go. So now let's try to refresh these over here. Awesome. So now we have our recording link in here that we can like actually access. So like if I go ahead and click on here. So like I should be able to be seeing that in there. So let me actually like share the insights in here. So the insights are working correctly because like it's giving me like the 3 important bullet points, which is kind of like the summary for the call. What else? It might be worth to display like the score in kind of like a graph or something. That also might be interesting. So let's go back and try to find where the score is. And if it didn't find like any score, then I'll just like do another call to like test it out. So let's see, score. It should be like after the summary. Summary. Then there's the bullet points, and then we just have. I'm not seeing the. I'm not seeing like the. How do you call it? Like the metrics. So I'll just try doing like another call to see like how our dashboard looks like. Honestly, as for the dashboard visualization, I'm just gonna leave it like up in there, and then we'll go with the Python thing, so like we can do our own calls like from the dashboard. Um, yeah. So let's try to make like a new call. Let me just share my screen with audio so you can all like also hear the call. So percent share screen, and then I'll do enter screen, and then also share system audio, and I'll share this one over here. Great. Is there any way to clone the working environment or see the coding live? Yeah, I shared a GitHub repository, and thanks for reminding me. I'll upload this code on the GitHub. So let me share that link with you again. So it's this one. There it is. And what I'll do next is that I'll store my keys in on a .env file, so like I can actually like post this on GitHub. So to do that on Streamlit, let's create a new folder called .streamlit. Oh, that's not a folder, that's a file. And then folder.streamlit. And then inside the folder, I'm going to create a file called config.toml. Keep in mind that this has to do like the specific configuration for the Streamlit to work with the secrets thing. So in here, I'm going to basically add these two variables in here. So I'll just like copy paste them and add them to my configuration one. Well, honestly, just like the API key. I think that one is the important one. Then I'll just remove like the double quotes and leave it in there. So for the next thing, now I'm going to add that folder into my Streamlit, into my directory. Just give me a moment. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back now. And let me unpin this message. Great. So now that I already added this directory like on my git ignore, now I can go ahead to like publish this. But first, I'll just like delete the key from here, and I'll access it using the Streamlit secrets. So to do that, it's st.secrets, and then I'll just call my variable, which is called API key. There we go. So with this, we should be good to go. I'm going to be posting these on the GitHub now. So added a page to view call logs. Awesome. So you should be able to see the code in there now. So if we go in here and I refresh the page, then you should be able to see my app.py in here with the code that I generated on the session. Awesome. So before actually going onto the Python SDK, I'm going to deploy my application so you can all like test it in there. And then I'm going to do like an additional call so we can view like how the log messages like start to appear in our dashboard. So let me go back to my Streamlit, and then I'll hit in here where it says deploy. I'm gonna do deploy now. And then in here, it already basically gave me like all of my defaults. Keep in mind that to be able to see this page, you need to create like a free Streamlit Cloud account. It's not very hard. Once you're running the Streamlit, you only need to click on deploy and then click on deploy now for the Streamlit community cloud. So in here, it automatically selected like the main file path for my application, which in this case is the app.py. And I'm just missing to add like a domain name. In that case, I'm going to do like Vapi GenAI. And before clicking on deploy, I need to add my secrets. So basically like my .env file, which will be like in other cases. So I'm going to click on advanced settings, and then in here, I'm going to paste like that API key that I had on my local. So I'm just going to grab this and click on paste in here. And then I'll just click on save. Now I'm good to go, and I can hit on deploy. Wait, why can't I hit on deploy? Oh, I'm sorry. I think this actually needs like double quotes. So it's kind of like different for the .env. So just add the double quotes in here to your string, and you should be fine. And then now like click on deploy. And I'm also going to add them like on my local file as well. Great. So as we wait, it won't take like long, but I wanted to ask the chat like a question. So like for the next global hack week, which will be, let me see. Let me see what the next one will be about. Oh, challenges probably. Well, I'll just search like global hack week MLH. Because like I wanted to ask you if you had like any ideas of like streams that might be worth like doing too. All right, we have the season launch. That's true, and that's interesting as well. Yeah, Global Hack Week season launch. That will be July 4th and 10th. That's so sad because like on those dates I won't be able to do like streams, and I would have loved to like do them because like there's like a lot of hype for the season launch because you get to see like the new mascot, and then we give like a lot of cool streams and so on. Yeah, so I guess I'll have to wait until the next Global Hack Week. But yeah, I wanted to ask you in the chat in general, like if you had any topic or any technology content or idea for like streams that you would like to see like on stage, so I can like take those comments like as consideration for when I start like deciding like what to give you all. Because sometimes like I basically choose topics that I think that might be interesting, but perhaps that you have like better ideas. So I would love to hear like your feedback on that on the chat, on like general ideas on which topics to discuss or technologies, tech stacks. I don't know, like anything that comes into mind. Please drop it like on the chat. If you don't have like any idea, then don't worry. I will also be asking these on like other streams to see like where hackers are at currently. I think our app like it's deployed now. Yeah, here it is. So now it's deployed. Let's see. Let's make this bigger because like it looks very small. There we go. So now if I actually share this link with you, you should be able to visit it as well on your computers. So we can basically see like all of the info. So like our JSON in here, the URLs, and then like the three bullet points from our summary in here. Awesome. So I'll go into the Vapi dashboard and I'm going to make one more call so we can like see it on our dashboard live in here. So let's go ahead, head to the Vapi dashboard. I'm going to go into assistants and then I'm going to click on talk to assistant. Just for a little bit of context from the past stream, we created an assistant that focused on scheduling like calendar invites. So I'm just going to rephrase this prompt because I think this prompt was like for a specific company. So I'm just going to generate a new prompt and I'm going to tell it like, I want you to schedule um, Google Meet invites for people who call you. Schedule these on my personal calendar, so fetch all necessary information. So I'm going to click on submit and then it will generate me like a new system prompt. And this is very interesting because like instead of like going to another tool and like generating like your own agent prompt, Vapi does that like by itself. You just need to add like a prompt of what you want it to do, and then it will generate like a better prompt using like Vapi's structure. So like the agent can be, you know, more useful to you. So I'm just going to click on accept changes and then I'll just leave it in here. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to trust the process. And then I'm just going to hit on publish in here. So now it's supposed to be updated with the latest changes. So I'm going to talk to my assistant and use one more credit, which is very sad. So let's see, and let's start talking. Allow.
This is Ryan, your scheduling assistant. How may I help you today?
Can I schedule a call for tomorrow?
Of course. May I have your full name, email address, and a preferred time for the call tomorrow?
Yeah, my name is Jocelyn Velarde, and my email is jocelyn@mlh.io. And for as for the time, I want it to be at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Just to confirm, you'd like to schedule a call tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Great. I'll schedule your call for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. I'll create a Google Meet invitation and send the details to your email. Just to
Thank
confirm,
you.
your email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've scheduled your meeting and sent the details to your email. Would you like a reminder before the meeting?
No, that will be fine. Bye.
All right, Jocelyn, if you need anything else.
Yeah. And that was it. It was like 1 minute that I used, and it was nice because it actually was giving me like the live transcript in here. So that was cool. Let's try to see the call logs. So I'm going to click on here on view call logs and let's see what the insights are. You know what? Actually, let's try doing it on our own dashboard. So let's go to our own dashboard and like refresh these to see if we can get the info. Great. So now we have like our two calls. So I think it is this one, like the second one. No, it's not this one. It's this one over here. Yeah, because this one says like web call and it also says like how costly it was. Then like the new record link, and then it has like the three important bullet points. So it says you contacted the AI scheduling system to schedule a call tomorrow. Then it passed on all of my details, and then it said that the Google invitation was sent. So now we have more info. Let's see if the call logs say something else. Where is it? So yeah, so now we are able to see like the success evaluation, which means that it was like successful. And let's try to see if it fetched like more info. So I'm not seeing the metadata in here. Okay, so let's just add the score then. So let's just add the success evaluation metric to our code. So let me go back in here to our app, and then where was I? So I'll add another one in here that's called another subheader that will be called score. And let's see what cool thing for display we can use in here. So let's see, caption, chat message, color picker. I want something nice. Something that looks like interesting, you know? Metric? Is that going to work? What does metric receive? Display a metric in big bold font with an optional indicator of how the metric changed. ST metric, and then it has the name and then millify. Let's try this one. Like honestly, I've never used this one before. So I need to pass on a label which would be my score. And then I need to pass on my value, which will be call.get, and then let's see, I don't know, score. And then I also need to pass on delta. I don't want that. Border. I want my border to be true, so it looks better. Okay, let me try to see if I can run this again to print it. Let's see if it actually printed itself in here. Oh, great. Here we have it. So let's try to search in here for the score metric. So there's a lot of info here. So I'll just do Control F. It's kind of slow. So I'm not seeing anything for score. I think it's called like success evaluation or something like that. Oh my God, this is super laggy. Okay, yeah. We have success evaluation here, but I think it's inside structured data. Not very sure. So let's try to just call it a success evaluation and see if like the JSON actually gets it. And if not, we'll try to explore the structure a little bit more. So instead of having score, I'll do success evaluation in here. And wait a minute, okay. Then I'll go to my local Streamlit this time, and I'll refresh these to see if we can get like the no secrets found. Valid paths for a secret tome file. Huh? Oh, probably I need to like kill the application and then like start running it again. So let me like stop this and then just like run it again. I think it got like a similar error. Oh, that's right, because like I didn't edit the double quotes from the file in there, so I'll just like add the double quotes in here. And I think with that we should be fine, but let's see. Huh, no, that's weird. No secrets. Let's see the extended error message here. So no secrets found, valid paths for secrets on file or secret directories. This probably has to do with like the Python thing. So what I will do is that I will deploy the app to like see it on the actual hosted site. So I'll do like added success metric. There we go. So now let's go to our deployed site. So I'll just like close this one and try it with this one now. So the score is like empty. Let's see if there's like an error here. Yeah, I think it's not finding like the score one. So let me try and see like in which part is the score thing. So probably here. You know what? I think it will be better to do it like from the actual documentation to see like where the score thing is at. So let's go in here and do a score, a success evaluation. There are plenty success evaluation things. Oh, so it's inside a thing called analysis. So I think I had to do analysis dot and then like success evaluation inside there. I'm not sure if that's how it worked, but like let's try that. So this is analysis, and then inside there we have the success evaluation. So let's try doing um I don't know if it's, let me just do like a super quick search. How to access inside keys on JSON. Because like I don't know if it's using like a dot. So let's see. How can I get the key value? I don't like this. No, this is not helpful. Extracting flat and nested keys. This one looks interesting. Keys contain names. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, probably I'll try with the key. Probably with this, like, might work. Still, I'll have to look on that in there. Um, yeah, because like it's not getting the like the actual how do I say, like the value for the success evaluation. But let's see what we can do. We have a comment in here for coming streams, multimodal models and hardware for IoT projects, Arduino, Raspberry Pi. Get my vote. Yeah, so this is something that I discuss like also like on most of my streams, that I also like doing like hardware projects. So as for now, the list that I have from like other feedback that hackers have given me throughout like this week is that they want to see more hardware projects. They also want to see some low level code such as like C, bare metal, and assembly code. They also want to see like kind of like a more lighting talk about the negative effects of GenAI. And I think I would also add a new topic that I personally like, that I've never like done like in a global hack week, which is just basically doing learning about brain computer interfaces. And we can see we can run like a simple simulation online. It's like a very complex topic, but I'm pretty sure it will be nice to have like at least some context on that for now. Great. So I'll ask Copilot to fix this. Let me just see where specifically I want to search for the success evaluation metric. So, okay. So this is inside analysis type, and then we have, no, I don't think it's this one. Success evaluation. Nope, nope. Here it is. So it's inside. I'm not seeing how internally. Oh, it's how to access success evaluation in here. So, chat, open chat. How to access success evaluation in the JSON. Then I'll just leave it there. Yeah, this was something that I was thinking about. Data analysis and then success evaluation. So let's try that. Let me close this. So in here, instead of doing like the call get, let's try that. But then this might be weird because then it might get the data. Yeah, that might get the data in there. Mm, so what if I do like call and then like instead of data? Let's try adding that. So like fixed JSON. Mm, let's try seeing these on our hosted site, which is this one. Great. So now it's actually showing. Now it has like the files in here. But we can also get in here that it got like score 10. Nice. That is nice. So let me delete like this title, or well, like we can leave it. We can leave it in there. Awesome. So what's next to do? I think we're already a little bit on time because this was supposed to be like 1 hour. But I'll give just like 15 more minutes to try to run like the at least like the easiest example for the Python SDK, and let's see what happens from there. So let me go into the Vapi documentation here. Let's go to the SDKs in here. And then let's just visit the Python one for server. What's the difference? Server SDK. Yeah, probably the client one is better. So let's try the client one. You can install the package via PAP. First import a Vapi class from the package, then create a new instance. You can start a new call by calling the start method and passing an assistant object or assistant ID, which is this. And then just basically doing this and click on start. And stop the session by calling the stop method. So let's try this simple example. Let's start copy pasting this into our Python code. So in here, I'll just going to create a new file that will be called Vapi calls. So let's start importing Vapi, and we're going to need to install that. So let's just also do the pip install in here, and let me share this SDK link with you all. There we go. And let's then add it in here into our terminal. And let me kill this instance and do the pip install for the Vapi Python. Awesome. So now it's installed. Let's start running the other examples that were in here. So we need to create a new instance. And now instead of using my private key, I need to use my public key. So let's add this in here as well. And let's use our public key. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Vapi dashboard, and then I'm going to go over into Vapi API keys. And here you'll find like the two keys, and instead of doing like the private ones, you need to select like the public API keys. So I'm just going to copy paste this one, and I'm going to add it again to my git ignore file. So this will be basically a public key. And then I'll just paste it there, and I'll basically go into public key. And then this one, I'll call it from my Vapi calls file. So import, oh, and then I'll just add it here. I'll do another variable that will be called public key. And then I'll just call the secrets file. So st.secrets, and then I'll just paste like that one in here. And inside here, I'm just going to basically call and reference my variable, which is called public key. How much battery do I have? Okay, I have like 15%. I think we can make it. Because like I don't have my charger right now, so let's hope for the best. So we already are calling our Vapi instance in there. So what was next? This isn't the one. So then we can start like our assistants. So we're going to do that in here. So Vapi start, and then I'll paste in here in a while my assistant ID. So the next thing, or I can just create a new assistant. Honestly, I'll just leave it like that. And I think that's all. Is that all? It looks like it's like super little to handle. Okay, then I'll just get my assistant ID. You can go over and click on assistants, and then just this number that it's in here, you're going to copy paste that number. And we're going to add in here this assistant ID over here. So this function, I think it's not detecting my Vapi. Yeah, it's like not detecting it. That's weird. Because like this one, it's working. Top level package for Vapi Python SDK. But then like the other one, it's not like getting it. Let me try running these, but I think we'll get an error. Cannot import name Vapi from Vapi Python. Let me search for that. Apparently, I have encountered this issue before. And I don't think I was able to solve it. I have tried different devices to make sure this is not an issue in my device, but it's all the same. Can you move your Vapi folder containing your app.file to C drive and try again? Yeah, so no luck for that person. There's also another one in here. Oh, this is so bad. Currently, Windows not supported. That's so lame. After Sonic Exploration, no. Yeah, that's so bad. I mean, why are they like continue adding things if like it doesn't have like support? Just see who this guy is. Wow. Okay. Like, okay. I think he's like actually into Vapi because he has like added like info to like the Vapi AI doc. So I think like he works there. So I'll just believe that there's no support like for. Oh yeah, there it is. Yep. Makes sense now. Vapi Python SDK version operating system. As according to the instruction for an README file, I installed Vapi. Yeah. I think it's not available. Oh wait, this guy actually updated. Like, he'll try now. This isn't working. That was on May 12th, so that was like a long while ago. Trying in with WSL now. Confirm with daily. They expect to have Windows support by July. I think that didn't happen. Add Windows distribution builds on Vapi. End of October, mid-November. Does this mean we cannot use Python for bunch calling with Vapi? Okay, well, I think we learned of why are we getting that error and that we won't be able to solve it if we have like a Windows system. Now it makes more sense on why in here it was telling me that I need to install like a port audio and it's using like a brew install. But it will be nice if they like actually added into their docs that only like Mac and Linux systems are supported. So um, yeah, I think there's not much that we can do in here. Like I have Linux on my machine, but I will need to like stop the stream and then like change like restart my computer and then like enter Linux and it will be like such a bother. So I'll just leave it in there. I'm going to publish this because people that have like Mac systems or are on Linux systems will be like able to like try this out. And yeah, I'll just add this like added a Python SDK example for Mac OS. Great. So now you should be able to see like all of the code in here on our GitHub. So we have the app.py and we also have like the Vapi calls. And I'm also going to add our published website over here. So published website, it's right here. So I'll just add it into our GitHub as well as a link so you can like access it there. There we go. Awesome. So that will be all from my part today. I will look into these on my Mac when I have a chance, so like I can know if like it actually works on Mac or it's just like not working like for Python like at all. Because that's weird that it only works in there, but also like makes sense. Like Windows can sometimes be like can be a bug, especially like for robotics things like Windows is like the absolutely worst. So yes, thank you for assisting to the stream. I will be seeing you in a while because I won't be on the next Global Hack Week. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone and have a nice day or I don't know, evening, night. At least it's night for me. So I'll have some good rest and I hope you can also have some rest either. Bye.